Hello, my name is Jose Garcia Camacho. This is for class 314, being human. My interview, I'm going to do it on my high school coach, Mike Nall. He's part of the reason why I'm in college right now, and not just for me, but he has done the same for many others. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll start with the interview.
All right, I'm Mike Nall. I coached Jose at Cummings High School. I currently coach the football team at Cummings and have been over there for about 8 years. Prior to that, coached at Elon University, and so that's just a little quick background on me as far as my coaching experience and so forth. And anyway, we'll move forward.
Well, Coach, obviously one of the reasons I admire you is for everything you do for not just me but all athletes. You did it at NC State, you did it at Elon University, you did it at Williams, and now you're doing it at Cummings. My first question to you would be why you're interested in coaching?
Well, it's kind of funny because I had no idea that would be something that I would enjoy. And a Hall of Fame coach, Sam Story, who coached at Williams High School for years, as well as Duke University, asked me to come out, I guess 13 or 14 years ago. I'd recently sold my business and wasn't doing anything at the time. Asked me if I'd be interested in coaching. And so I told him I wasn't really sure, and he said, well, just come out and give it a day or two and see how you like it. Well, a day or two turned into, I guess, 13 or 14 years, and just realized that you can make a big difference with kids if you go out there and do things the right way and try to just help them through your mistakes be better people. And that's kind of what I enjoy the most about it, I think, is helping kids through times in their life where things are not necessarily going so well for them. Letting them benefit from the mistakes that I made in my life, and hopefully we can trudge through those times together, and it'll make a difference in their life. And so I've enjoyed that, and I enjoy the game too of football. So it's kind of been an opportunity for me. I had no kids, and it ends up every year I end up having about 70 or 80 kids. So it's just been a great opportunity for me to interact with young people and hopefully make a difference in their life.
Yes, sir. Now, you also coached in college, the
Right.
college level. How does it differ coaching at a Division I college level and then coaching back in high school?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is at the college level, you inherit kids that are already pretty highly skilled at what they do. You recruit them to do what they do. Whereas in high school, you take a kid that knows nothing about what he does, basically, and you have to teach him from scratch. And as far as becoming a good coach, I think everybody ought to start at the lower level of high school, because you've got to be a better coach to be a good coach, I think, at the high school level, because you don't have that luxury of having those really talented kids to begin with. You gotta sort of train them to do what you want them to do, which is, it's a good thing in a sense, because a lot of times those kids have no skills when you get them, and you're able to teach them the right way to do things and don't have to correct mistakes, which is one of the downsides of coaching at the college level, because some of those kids that you brought in weren't necessarily what you thought they were when they got there, and teaching kids correct habits is sometimes easier than teaching kids who have poor habits good habits, because bad habits are hard to break sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Now, which type of players do you prefer? Do you prefer a player who's already skilled or somebody who you start from scratch?
Well, from a coach's perspective, it's obviously easier to take a kid who's already skilled because now you just got to sort of fine tune what they already know. But I think it's more rewarding to take kids that don't really know anything about what they're doing and see them progress through the initial learning process to the point where they become very skilled at what they do, much like you did. You were, a soccer player and a goalie and didn't know much about kicking a football until, you came to Cummings High School and decided you wanted to be a kicker. And through your hard work and diligence, you became a scholarship college kicker, which is, that's quite an accomplishment, because a lot of people want to do that, but very few people are able to do that. And, that's probably one of the things that's so rewarding about taking kids at the high school level and trying to develop them into what you became, which was a scholarship kicker. And so, I don't know, there are pros and cons to taking kids that don't have any skills versus taking kids that already have skills. So I enjoy both. I guess they're both very rewarding in their own way. So
I agree. And now, one thing is you've definitely been able to impact the lives of many. You impacted my life, and same as several teammates. How have this student athletes been able to impact your life?
Well, I think when you see people like yourself go on and do so well after football, actually football is just a very small part of what we try to teach what I try to teach as a coach. It's more life lessons than football lessons. And to see someone take whatever you learned while you were working with me and take that and become successful at both athletics in college as well as academics in college, and I'm sure you're going to do very well once you leave college and get out into the real world. That's what keeps you coming back. I mean, when you see kids that started from nothing, and as far as maybe they didn't come from their families were not very wealthy, didn't have had a great support system maybe, but not necessarily monetarily, came from from fairly meager beginnings, and have moved to a point now where they're going to be very productive members of society in many ways. And then to see somebody like yourself, for instance, come back and give back, that tells me that I must have done something right, which makes it very rewarding for me to go back every year and hopefully find another Jose Garcia, for instance, since you're interviewing me right now. But it's just good to see that you can have an impact, a positive impact on kids' lives. You certainly don't coach for the money because there's virtually no money involved at our level, at the high school level. Much better at the college level, but I don't think as a college coach I had the opportunity to make an impact like you do at the high school level, because most of those kids have already had opportunities that high school kids sometimes never get.
Yeah.
And so, I just think coaching is more of it's more of a the reward for coaching comes more from the products that you develop after they leave football than the products that you develop while they're playing football. It's easy to teach a kid how to play the game of football, but it's not so easy to teach a kid how to play the game of life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a strong message right there. Now, what is probably the biggest lesson your pupil has taught you?
That if you work hard enough and you want something enough, that you can overcome any obstacle. Because I've had kids that have had to overcome obstacles that many people would think were impossible to overcome, and have done very well, not only in football, but in life after football. And that's probably the thing that I've learned most from my pupils, is to persevere, stay the course, continue to work hard at what you're trying to accomplish. And it's kind of like karma. When you put the work in, you're going to get the rewards for it. It just works out that way. And, a lot of times I hit blocks in the road myself. And, I'll get frustrated with things, whether it be football related or personal situations. And I always revert back to some of these kids that I've coached and think, you know what? You think you got problems. You got no problems compared to such and such, who came from a situation where he was considered homeless, or had a bad family life, poverty, just all kinds of adversity that they were faced with, and they came through it and came out on the other end well. And so I think that's the biggest thing I get from my kids, is the fact that you can overcome anything if you persevere through it.
Yes, and one of the last questions: how much longer do you think you're going to continue coaching?
Well, I think I'll continue coaching as long as I feel like I'm making a difference. When I feel like I'm not making a difference anymore, I don't have the energy or the passion to do what I do, then that's when I won't be effective anymore. And so there's no sense in doing something if you're not being effective doing it. And when I don't feel like I'm effective anymore, that's when I'll quit, because the kids don't need me after that. And so You never know when that's going to be. It could be something health related, or it could be something you just decide, you know what, I'm just too old, I can't relate anymore, whatever. But you'll know, I'll know, and that probably will be what stops me is the point in time where I just don't feel like I'm making a difference anymore.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing I remember you telling me is the kids don't care that you know until they know that you care.
Correct.
I mean, we definitely know that you care. I mean, you've been there for us, and you stuck through it. And I mean, whatever we accomplish is just as much as yours as it is ours.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you for the interview, Coach.
Thank you for what you've done for me.
Yes, sir. And well, this concludes it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great night.